Okay, hi everybody. This is video number 5. I'm gonna have a break in doing these videos. I think once I've done this one. So this is my attempt to thin out my collection as much as I can. I've got a massive pile of books that's building up over there of stuff I'm getting rid of, and I've got a pile here of stuff I'm keeping. Basically, I'm gonna get rid of anything that I've read and don't think I need to keep, or that I haven't read that I don't think I'm going to read. So I'm trying to be as brutal as I can and trying to be as honest as I can. Am I going to read it? And then I'm getting rid of it if I haven't read it and I'm not going to read it. So I've got far too many books. This is an attempt to try and thin it out. We'll see how it goes. Once I've done this, I'll do some other videos about what's left. I'll have a definitive 2023 cartoonist collection as well, things like that. But for now, let's crack on and see if I can find some more things to get rid of. So I'm going to keep Slaughterhouse 5. I'm not a massive fan of Vonnegut, so I've read 3 of his books so far, but I haven't read this yet, and I'm gonna keep going, and I'm hoping that he'll wow me at some point. It might be something that I need to kind of lock into the way he writes, but certainly I've not had a lot of luck with him so far. But this is being kept. There's another one in a minute I'll show you, but Slaughterhouse 5 I need to read. Canterville Believeritz is one that I keep putting off. I don't expect to like. I don't think I'm going to like it, but I do need to read it. So this is like one of the most celebrated science fiction books of all time. So I'm going to read it. Okay. Action's End by Lindsay Ellis. I bought this new, and I have no idea what it's like, really, to be fair. But I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I don't know what it's... I have no idea what it's like, really. I don't know where to put these books I'm keeping now. Actors Anonymous by James Franco. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't really think I'm going to read it. Sturgeon's Alive and Well by Theodore Sturgeon. Definitely keeping this. It's not a great condition, but I'm not going to get rid of anything by Theodore Sturgeon. Restaurant in the US. This is the copy that I've had for decades, yeah, very important. So I'm definitely keeping this. I definitely reread potentially. I've read it a few times. This is a really lovely book. I'm not going to get rid of anything that relates to the Muppets. This is a book of Jim Henson quotes. It's Not Easy Being Green. It's a really lovely book, actually. If you ever see it, it'll warm the cockles of your heart. Okay, Stormbringer. Don't really want to get rid of the Elric books while I'm rereading them. So I only reread the first one, so I've got a few to read. This is the last one, so definitely can't get rid of this yet. Say It Loud. It's about Marxism and the fight against racism. I bought this in Bookmarks. Yes, it's the Bookmarks publishing company. I definitely want to read this. I haven't read it yet. Yeah, so I'm going to keep that. Ramsey Campbell, Secret Story. Definitely keeping that. Stories from the Twilight Zone. Clearly, I'm going to keep anything related to the Twilight Zone. Dead Man's Hand. This is one that I started reading last year. I stopped it at the time, and I thought I'll pick it up again. But I don't think I will. I'm going to get rid of it just to be harsh. So it wasn't terrible, but I'm just going to get rid of it. So there we go. I'm getting rid of this collection. It's like the Weird West. He's a really good editor, John Joseph Adams. And anyway, that's, you know, I'll hopefully get a good home when I get rid of that. Babylon 5, a couple of season breakdowns. So season 4 and season 5. So I've got all of them. Definitely keeping these. These are awesome books. Robert Cross, Disenchanted. So I haven't read this yet, but whether I'll keep it once I've read it, I don't know. I do really like Starship Troopers, is it called? Starship Grifters, I think it's called. Yeah, really good. so that's probably good. One of the Thieves World books, can't get rid of the Thieves World books, so I'm keeping them. My copy of Ubik, definitely keeping that. Turning Wheel and Other Stories. I did get rid of some Philip K. Dick actually in my last book haul, Unhaul. So I'm not necessarily going to keep this forever, but I haven't read these stories, so I know, yeah, I've read a couple of them, but yeah, I'm gonna keep that while I'm reading it. Second Variety, I'm gonna keep this. So I like this series when they've got these collector stories put into this collection. So I'm gonna keep that because it's in good condition. And there we go, it's Player Pianos. That's the other Kurt Vonnegut one that I'm gonna try before I give up on him. So this is his first book, and it's a dystopian book, which is why I really wanted to have it. So I've got Player Piano as well. Terry Pratchett, collected short fiction. So definitely want to keep this, and it should go in my big tub of Terry Pratchett books. I've got a big plastic tub full of his stuff, so I'll put it in there. See, I bought this thinking I was very excited to read it, but I think if I'm trying to be as harsh as I can, I don't have to keep this. So the autobiography of Mark Twain, I'm going to get rid of this. So yeah, it's probably really good, but I'm not really massively into biographies, to be fair. The Doors of His Face, The Lamps of His Mouth, Roger Zelazny, I'm keeping that. Life, the Universe and Every, book 3 in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, definitely keeping that. Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn, so this is another Thieves World book. Really informed me of the sort of the fantasy world building kind of aspect of these Thieves World books, because I think the thief element of fantasy is very attractive to me for some reason, more than magic users and stuff. But yeah, Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn. This is a very rare and quite an important and unique and interesting book on Kronstadt, which is the rebellion that happened during the end of the period of the Second Russian Revolution that was kind of at the start of the Civil War that followed it, and they were rebelling against the revolution because they said that Trotsky and Lenin had kind of betrayed them. So it's a really interesting story, really, very interesting part of 20th century history. So I did a special, the reason why I've got this book is I did a special 5,000 word essay on Kronstadt in my degree. Star Wars book, Ambush at Corellia. Need to read this. It's book 1 of the... I bought this knowing that I didn't have the other 2, thinking if I like it, I'll get the others. So I am going to keep that. Everything is Illuminated, a book I still haven't read, and I really want to read this. So I've seen the film, and the film is fantastic, but I really want to read it because I'm expecting a lot more from the book. So I need to read this, so I have to keep it at least until I've read it. Science Fiction Hall of Fame, Volume 2. This has got some great people in it. I don't know if you can hear them, but I've got workmen outside. They've been doing the road for the last 5 weeks. They're literally outside my house, digging up the road. Yeah, so what do I do? Do I keep this? I think I'm going to get rid of it actually because it's a big hardback book and it's a really good book. It's got big names in it, but I'm going to get rid of it because it will help with the space. Charles Bukowski, You Get So Alone at Times, it just makes sense. I can't get rid of any Charles Bukowski stuff, and actually I'm quite pleased that it's not too bad condition, considering some of my Bukowski books have got a bit knackered. So that's all good. Okay, what else have we got? Another Bukowski book, South of No North. So like I was saying, because of the nature of the paper, it's the quality's gone a bit knackered. So these are short stories. But yeah, I am going to do a rediscovery of him, if you like, next year probably. Okay, this is one that I talked about recently because I am going to read this. Don't know whether I'll read it for Gub August, but it's Sandy Toksvig, and it's a novel she wrote, Hitler's Canary. This is one that I've only had for a while, and I've been wondering whether to get rid of it or not. But I think I'm going to keep it because I think I'm going to reread it, so I'm going to keep it. Time and time again, I'd like to read this as part of my further investigation into time travel. And who knows, it might be one that gets brought up when I talk about my favourite time travel books. I don't know. He's a good writer, Ben Elton. There's another one here which is a parody of reality shows, of like shows like Big Brother and that. So yeah, I'm going to keep that as well. This is a crime book that is part of a bunch of books that he's written, that Ray Celestin's written with that kind of motif on it. I've got 3 now, and I ought to read one to find out if they're any good, but I keep seeing them quite cheap, so I go, oh, I'll nab that. So I'm going to read that at some point. I've got space. You probably just saw that I needed to make some space. I've just made some space, so I'm going to crack on and do the rest of the ones that are in front of me. And then I would have done quite a lot of books. So let's just see where we are with this. That's already been done. So this goes with my cartoonist collection. So it's only a little book, but I quite like these little compilation things. They're staying. I love this book, and I'm sure I'll reread it again. I really, really like it, and I've done a review of it on the channel, but I really recommend it. If you're into wild, fun, creative, interesting science fiction about robot apocalypse, go for Sea of Rust. It's really good. That's already been looked at. Yeah, I got mixed up a little bit. Disgrace. I bought this because I wanted to stretch out a little bit and read something that is quite divided. I think it's divisive, I think. So I'll give it a go, and yeah, I'll keep it. Thieves World with a really awesome cover, and I've already got another version of it, Thieves World, but the other one fits with the other books in the series, and this is just a really awesome cover. Upgrade. Yeah, I'm got to keep this, but what I will probably do is buy a paperback version and swap it over, so it's less space. But yeah, I have to keep my Blake Crouch books. I've only just got this. This was a present for my birthday, so I'm keeping this at least until I read it. This is a time travel book that's actually quite hard to find. It's quite rare. So I'm going to keep it from that point of view. I don't know if it's going to feature in my next time travel video, but I'm keeping it because it's quite rare. Anno Dracula, Kim Newman. I bought this for £1.50. And this is like, he's really made a name with this book, and he's written a series of books off this. So I think I'd like to read it. Yeah, I would like to read it. I haven't read it yet, but I'd like to. This is a bit of vintage science fiction, which will go with my other science fiction. I'm keeping this. This is really good. And, or do I keep it? Yes, I'm going to keep it. Mark Thomas, a fantastic comedian, and I was going to read this for a Storathon, and I still am, because this is like recent stuff, so it's like a non-fiction comedic book about the Berlin Wall, I think. No, it's not. It's about. He writes a lot about the Israeli-Palestine war, so it's about that. I'm Legend. This is a very cool version of it. I've got loads of versions of this, but I'm keeping it. Kirk Douglas is The Ragman's Son. I'd like to read it, but I've had this quite a while. I don't think I will read it. I really like Kirk Douglas, but I don't think I'm going to read it, so I'm going to get rid of it. This should be in my Terry Pratchett tub. I've got tons and tons of Terry Pratchett books. I'm clearly not going to get rid of that. I've got quite a lot of Tom Holt books as well, and I'm not going to get rid of that either. This was, I don't know much about this. This was a present that I got for my birthday, so I'm keeping this because I haven't read it and it was a present. Dragon Drums. I'm only going to keep these Anne McCaffrey ones temporarily, so I've got these to read. So I read this when I was really young. I want to reread it. This is a compilation. This is an anthology that features I don't know if to keep this or not really. The Mammoth Book of Mind-Blowing Science Fiction. I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah. Is that exactly the same as that? That is literally exactly. I've got 2 copies of the same book, so I can definitely get rid of this then. I've only just bought this with... Well, actually, I bought it ages before Garb August, but I have mentioned it in Garb August, and I might read this, so I'm going to keep it. I love this book, and I've had it for a long time, and it's a nice floppy book as well, and it's in perfect condition, which I'm really pleased with. I really like this book, so I definitely recommend this for anyone who's interested in rock music. Another book I really like, and I'll probably reread this at some point, but it's definitely a big recommendation, so I'm keeping this. I'm going to keep it during Garb August, but I might get rid of it once I know whether or not I've read it for Garb August, but I'm going to keep it for a bit. David Koepp, so he's a famous screenwriter, and he's written a science fiction book called Cold Storage, and it's probably really cool. I'm gonna read it before I get rid of it. Bloody Chamber. I'm going to reread this actually, so I'm going to keep that. Tales from Jabba's Palace, from one extreme to the other. I'm going to keep this. Ready Player One. Nobody ever talks about this anymore on BookTube. For a while, it was huge, wasn't it? I'm probably going to reread it at some point. I'm not going to read Ready Player 2 because everything I hear about it, it's like the same thing but written badly. But yeah, I'm going to reread this at some point. So yeah, Ready Player One. You know what Ready Player One is. This was a gift off Richie, God Emperor of Dune. So once I've read Dune, I will read the next one. I think that's Dune Messiah. I think this is the one after that, isn't it? Might be Children of Doom, Children of Dune, and then this probably. This is one I've got ready to read during Garb August. So it's written by the comedian Miles Jupp. It's about a history teacher. So I'm going to put that over there so I can look at it later. This is quite, I would imagine it's quite rare. I haven't seen it in any shop before. Well, I have at the time when it first came out, but I certainly haven't seen it in any shops recently, and I haven't seen it secondhand. J.M. Straczynski wrote Babylon 5, and this is his guide to writing. And to be fair, some of the things I read in here I did keep in mind when I was writing my novel. So, you know, it wasn't a screenplay, but it is about storytelling. So, yeah, I do value this book a lot. And it's not great condition anymore, but it's all right. It's just a bit dirty. It's just been in the loft for a long time. And then Spike Jonze, a biography of Spike Jonze. I bought this in LA. How much did I buy it for? Did it say? Does it say? It doesn't say. But I found this and I was really pleased. I don't think I would have found this anywhere else but America. It's an American import by the looks of it. And yeah, so I'm definitely not getting rid of that. Okay, so this one I've mentioned already in the Garb August roundup stuff because, you know, like what of TBR, because this is written by Roxanne Dawson, who was Belena Torres in Star Trek Voyager. I'm going to keep this, I think, because I might read it in Garb August. Again, another one, Ethan Hawke, but this is supposed to be really good, so I'm looking forward to this. This is not reading it ironically, this is reading it because I think it's going to be good. So Ash Wednesday by Ethan Hawke. God Is Not Great. I've got 2 copies of this, but so I need to put this aside because when I see the other copy, I'll get rid of the other one. So Christopher Hitchens, God Is Not Great. Very famous atheist rant. Robert Silverberg, Recalled to Life. This is quite an unusual find, and I couldn't resist it when I saw it. So I need to add that to my vintage science fiction. Clearly, I'm not going to get rid of this. This is a present. And I can't remember what it's about, but I need to read that. Neil Gaiman says it's astonishing. Have you read that? I'm going to keep my little sticker on there from Katie, and I will clearly keep the book. This is the first Robin Hobb book I've ever bought, and I need to read this. She's supposed to be amazing, and I'm sure I'd like her, so I'm looking forward to this, but again, I haven't got around to it yet. Maybe I'll be able to read this in the Christmas holiday or something, because it seems like everything's stacking up before that. This is Egyptian Myths and Legends, so I bought this recently, but I'm doing that Myths and Legends, folklore, fairy tales thing as well. The Night of the Triffids. This is a book I found which is a sequel to Day of the Triffids. I'm just going to get rid of it because I don't think I'm going to read it. This is going to be a bit of a wrench, to be fair, and I don't know whether I should I keep the original trilogy. Thing is, I'm trying not to keep stuff for nostalgic reasons, but this cover. So this is the Elfstones of Shannara, and the cover, I drew that cover a number of times to get me better at drawing. So the cover in particular is really important to me. Yeah, it's a very awesome cover, but it's a cover that really has got a lot of weight to it for nostalgia. So no, I'm going to get rid of it. Get rid of it. And then one last one for this lot. The Wonder Boys, Michael Chabon. I've seen the film, but I haven't read this, so I'm going to keep it because I want to read it. So there we go. That was the 5th one, which had a little bit of a edit because all these books fell over. But the pile is getting bigger of what I'm getting rid of. This is very productive. And I went to the shops and bought some tubs to put the ones I was keeping in. It's all going well. Thanks for watching. Bye.